Okay, we're recording. All right. So I want to talk about this book that I read today. Let me make sure that I'm in frame. And I would be in frame. Yeah, I'm gonna be in frame. Yeah, so I want to talk about this book I read today. I just finished it. I've been reading it for a little minute. So it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And I've read a couple books this year, but this one is insane. The way that it looks at like viewing life and viewing how we contributed to life and how we view happiness in life and how we just approach viewing ourselves. I've been on this crazy journey this year of self-development, trying to find myself because of some things I've gone through. And so I think this book could not have come at a better time. But I want to speak on the end of this book because the end of this book may be better than anything else. And I took some notes. I really want to be doing these at least twice a week because when I think of some of the greats like, Steve Jobs or even Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, if they had recorded like their mindset, their thinking, their process from like ground zero, that would have been profound. And I want to do that so that I have like these memories to look back on whatever point I get to and be able to just be like, wow, this is the thought process I had. This was the thinking I was doing at that time. And look how different it is now years down the line. So I want it to be kind of like journal entries, but video journal entries that I can have to look back on, and people that I hopefully guide in the future have actual like evidence. Like he's not just thinking about what he would have done in those moments. He's showing and recorded what he actually did in those moments. But anyway, let's get to the book. So near the end of the book, it's speaking about how we need to stop viewing our lives as en route to stop viewing it as climbing up a mountain, but just as moments in life. So I think like for us, we view end goals we have as what we need to accomplish, and every decision we need to make is working toward that goal. And this book is actually like completely against that. So this book is entirely about how when our whole thinking is future focused, we're never actually focusing on the now. And it minimizes what we do in the moments, and it like dulls it out and dims it out and takes a lot of the value out of every single moment we have. And it makes these moments, it could be even this moment, me recording, make me value it less and see it as less because I see it as an end goal of hitting X followers, subscribers, or money rather than this moment is the end goal. And so what it says is instead of viewing life as like a line, trajectory with ups and downs, if you were to magnify on that line, it's just a series of dots connected together. Like to get microscopic, it's a series of dots connected together. And so life is just a series of moments. And we may view certain moments as more magnificent and powerful than others, but life is just a series of moments. And when you can view it that way, every single moment has intrinsically an incredible value, an incredible purpose. And when you view it that way, you're no longer viewing moments as dull and viewing moments as meaningless. Every single moment has just as much value as the moment you graduated or the moment you had your first kiss or whatever it may be, the moment you got married. And when you magnify on that, I'm viewing this as it's going to elevate the way that I view my life and the way that I actually carry out my life, because doing these moments, there's not an end goal that I'm striving for. I'm simply doing it out of enjoyment and taking this as the moment in my life and as an important moment in my life. And then later today when I'm running, that's going to be the moment. So it doesn't matter if we make it to the mountaintop or not. The current moment is the end goal. The analogy of being on stage. Yeah, so I think that this is great. I want to read the quote exactly, but basically the philosopher, which is basically the narrator of a book, was giving an analogy of us being on stage. And when we're on stage, if the whole room is lit up, you can see the whole entire room. You can see your past, you can see your future. You can see the whole thing. But when we shine a spotlight on ourselves, it's the only thing we can focus on. And it says, it's because we cast a dim light on our entire lives that we are able to see the past and the future, or at least we imagine we can. But if someone is shining a bright spotlight on the here and now, one cannot see the past or the future anymore. So basically what it means by that is, like, what I gathered from that was that when we're so focused on what caused us to get to this moment, or how this moment builds to a future moment, it dims the importance of this moment and like the actual immersion we have in this moment to make it everything that we want it to be. We're not actually experiencing life because mentally we're viewing it as either a byproduct of our past or to be a byproduct of our future. And that takes away from like the weight that every single moment has. What it talks about in the book is, if you're to go on a journey, let's say you're going on a vacation, where you end up should not be just like the journey. The journey is that first step out of the house. The journey is the drive to the airport. It makes every single moment so much more enjoyable, but it also makes it so much more valuable, because what it said is, like, if the mountaintop is the goal, whether you climbed there or whether you just took a helicopter, flew to the top, stood there for 5 minutes and flew back down, would not matter, because your end goal was the primary purpose. But if the goal is just every single moment, valuing every single moment, then every single moment has so much purpose in it that we can really maximize that and make the most out of it. And when we live our lives as a great big story, we limit what we are now and will become to what has happened to us in the past. But if we view every single moment as the end goal, the only moment, then every single moment is valuable to us. And it keeps going on to say, so when we're in end goal thinking, each moment we view is as a preparatory period, a dull moment that we hope will lead to an exciting and ultimate end goal, end moment. When we view it as this way, when we view it in this new way, life is always complete. So it goes on to say, the life of the past that looks like a straight line appears that way to you only as a result of you making ceaseless resolutions to not change. The life that lies ahead of you is a completely blank page. There are no tracks that have been laid out for you to follow. There's no story there. So those tracks is, there's no past that determines what you can become. Like LeBron, if he, limited his story to being in a single mother household and living in Ohio, not the best part of town, he would have not become, one of the greatest to ever play the game. And when we're working towards something, the book speaks about how a person that wants to pass like the bar exam or any exam or become a professional athlete, like, yeah, you have to plan ahead of time and take steps to get there. But what if we viewed every single moment, every single practice, every single study session as the moment? And then one day we just wake up and we may be there or we may not. But because we weren't so reliant on the end goal and we were focused on every single present moment, it made the journey so much more valuable. We actually grew so much more in the journey, because you notice this. When you are simply working towards an end goal, you're never satisfied, because then you're just like, okay, I got here, what's next? But if every single minute, every single moment is the end goal, then we can always be satisfied, because we're not relying on external factors. We're not relying on one moment to satisfy months of dread, but we're relying on every single moment being our satisfaction and our fulfillment. This also means that if life isn't viewed as a past or future, but only in current moments, then there is intrinsically no defined meaning of life. Life is what we choose for it to mean, and that's a task that only we can choose. It's a realization that our power is immeasurably great. We have the power to change the world, and only us have the power to change our world, because everybody views reality in their own view, so everybody's world is different. And you are the only person that determines what your world and what your life can be. And where you want to go is only determinant on what you choose to do from this moment on, and what you choose to do from the next moment on. Every single moment. individually and intrinsically as valuable as the last. And so this is going to be video journal entries that I continue to do because I'm continuing to grow. And viewing this past year, these past 3 years of struggle, but this past year of trying to think, what can I do to reach the end goal of financial freedom, retiring my family, all these kinds of things, has helped me grow a lot, but it's put a lot of stress on me. And now if I view it as every single moment, just what can I do to contribute to others? The ultimate source of satisfaction, to contribute to others, trust in that, pray for God to guide me to do that in the way that He has specifically designed me to do. Those goals will just happen by me focusing on the moment. And like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, one day I'm just going to wake up and, oh, this impact I would have led, or this person I was able to help, or this family I was able to retire. And so if y'all want a great book, definitely check this out. Pursue every single moment as the moment of your life and maximize it. Y'all have a great day. Session is complete. Peace.